Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Doing the Devil's Tango. It's a dating advice, dating story type of podcast, whatever I do with my girlfriend Kelsey, who's here by the way. Say hi, Kelsey.
Hello.
So what we do is we take your emails and we, give you advice, answer your questions, say what we think, because, we're not experts in anything really, except screwing up, I guess. But, we've just been around the block, maybe a little bit older than some of you, so just giving our advice and our long-earned wisdom. Anyway, first email we got here. This is from April. She says, the title of the email is Age Gap Relationships. It says, "Hi, Alex and Kelsey. What do you guys think about relationships with an age gap? What would you consider a big difference? I'm in my 20s, interested in someone in their 30s. There's about a 10-year difference. Not a big deal or bad idea. Curious to hear you guys' thoughts, opinions, experiences. P.S. You're awesome, Kelsey." Oh,
She followed my advice.
that's right. You want to get the email read. What's the advice?
Say something nice about me.
There you go.
Yep.
Case in point, it works.
I'm shallow.
What's up? Hey. So her question is about age gaps. Now, to be totally honest here, so I'm 32 and you are 16. No, you are almost 27, right?
Yes, so I'm 26 and Alex is 32.
Yeah.
So we have a 6-year age difference.
Right. Now, her question is, she's in her 20s. She doesn't say her actual age, but let's say, just for simplicity's sake, she's 20, and this guy or girl, whoever she's interested in, is
almost 10, or about a 10.
about 10. So let's say she's 20, and her potential love interest is 30, just to be simple. 10-year age gap. So what are your opinion on age gaps? Do you think, there comes a point when there's just, too much of a gap, or do you think it depends on the age of the two people? Or half your age plus 7 minus the circumference of the earth or whatever the thing is, what I'm saying? What do you feel about that as a girl?
People can date who they want, obviously, but I think at a point it becomes a little bit creepy, maybe, or predatory if there's a 25-year age difference or something, like a 22-year-old girl's dating a I'm not good at math. What would that be?
45 or something, yeah. 47-year-old person, yeah.
I think that could be kind of weird.
Now, do you think it changes based on the gender of the two people? For example, you said 22-year-old girl dates a 45-year-old man. Super creepy. If it was reversed, 22-year-old boy has some sugar mama, 45-year-old cougar woman, does that seem different to you? Is it different because men and women and the dynamic of that, or do you think just age is the only thing that matters?
Well, I think typically when there's an age difference, the man is usually older. That's just how it is, how it seems to be. But no, I think it would still be weird if it was the woman that was older.
Okay, yeah, right. Usually the men are older. Usually I feel typically, women tend to go for older guys.
Yeah.
Especially when women are younger. Everyone who went to high school knows those girls who they were 16 and their boyfriend was 24 or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think every high school has those girls in it. And at the time you think whoa, dude, she's dating a college guy, or she's dating the some cool waiter at Outback or whatever. You know what I mean? And so it seems so cool in the moment, but then as you get older, when I was 24, I couldn't imagine dating a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
But
oh, he's grooming her.
Yeah, you're oh, this dude's a loser.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But okay, so you said a 22 and 45. Now, do you think if the woman was 30 and the man was 50, is that just as creepy to you, or does the fact that she is a bit older, does that change things? Because when a woman is 30, when anyone's 30, hopefully, right, they have their life together, they have some kind of job or career or something, right? Mm-hmm. If a girl's 22, or whoever, we'll just say girl and guy for the sake of simplicity here, but if the girl's 22 and she's fresh out of college and then she's dating some 40-year-old guy, I can see how that would be very creepy, right? Because it's she knows nothing about the world, and here's this 40-year-old dude who's 22-year-old with a cute jiggly butt, you know what I'm saying? But if the woman's 30 and the guy's 50, does that seem different to you, or is it equally as creepy? Because you can't really be grooming at that point, You can't groom a 30-year-old.
Yeah, I think maybe as both parties get older, maybe it's less creepy. If you're a 70-year-old man with a 50-year-old wife or whatever, I don't think that's very weird.
Yeah, I think like as you age, the meaning of like age gaps or whatever becomes like less and less, I guess. Because yeah, like the life experience of a 20-year-old versus a 30-year-old is huge. Life experience of a 15-year-old to a 20-year-old is huge. Life experience of a 30-year-old to a 45-year-old is not that big, really. I mean, it's 15 years, but like, you know, once you enter like the job market or you kind of have your life set, whatever, for the most part, you're just kind of doing the same things every day. So it's not like you're experiencing these like brand new, you know, paradigm shifting things in your life like you are when you're 20. Right. Because like when you're, you know, from high school to college is like a total shift. And then from college to the real world is like a total shift. But then after like 25 or so, I feel like everyone's lives are basically the same for the most part.
Yeah.
You're like, you work and then you sleep and then you have existential crises, panic attacks, and then you repeat that every week.
Play video games.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I think from 20 to 30 is a pretty big gap, I think. But from 25 to 35, for some reason, I feel like is less of a gap.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it depends where at in your 20s you are. If you're like 28 and you want to date a 38-year-old, I don't really think that's that big of a deal.
It doesn't seem that weird, yeah, because life experience-wise, you're... You know, he's 10 years older, but it's like, I assume he hasn't done anything that would like, I mean, I guess when I say life experience, I mean like things that like shape you and define you as like a person and like personality wise. Because, you know, yeah, like you think back when you're in high school and then when you're in college or college age, shall we say, and then it's like you're like a different person, right? When you're, you know, when you're 17 to like 21, chances are you're a very different person. And from 21 to like 25 or 26, you become a very, very different person because you have these like personality shaping, you know, who you are as a person, your value system, and what you ever think like changes all the time. But once you get to a certain age, you're kind of just who you are for the most part, I think. Yeah. I mean, people can change and grow at any age, but like as far as like who you are as a person, like your personality and whatever, like I feel like that's kind of set at a certain point. Once you hit that point, then I feel like age becomes largely irrelevant. Like if a 30-year-old wants to date like a 60-year-old, I mean, I guess that's a little weird, but it's like you're 30 and you know what you want out of life. And if that's what you want, then go for it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're a fully formed adult.
Right. But if you're like 17, you're dating like a 35-year-old, it's like, hey, hold on a second.
So you're 32. So would you think it was weird to date a 22-year-old?
Yeah, I think so. Just again, because 22 means like they're a senior in college or maybe they're just out of college. And like, I don't know, because there's such a, you know, the whole like millennials versus Gen Z type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like there's a big enough difference between even just like a 10-year gap from like my age to like someone who's like 22, for example. There's such a big gap that I feel like it would be hard to relate to that person. Mm-hmm. Like you and I is 6 years apart, but we're close enough in age that like we grew up on the same things. And we kind of know the same references and the same jokes and the same things. So like we get along so well because we have that like that connection where it's like, you know, remember that show when you were a kid? Oh, remember that game? You remember, you know? Whereas if I was dating someone who's like 22 or 21 or something like that, it'd just be like, so.
Watch any good TikToks?
You see any good TikTok dances lately? Oh, your first console was a 360? Okay, cool. I'm old. So yeah, I think there comes a point where it's like you can't really relate to that person. I mean, I guess if you wanted like a sugar baby, sugar daddy type relationship, maybe that's one thing. I guess that's, you know, it's valid if you want to do that. But like to actually like romantically involve yourself with, I feel like there's enough of a gap between like the generations now that it's kind of like I don't think I could really do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're 26, would you date someone who was like 46?
I mean, that's 20 years difference.
Right.
And my hypothetical with you is only 10.
Sure.
So if I would date a 36-year-old, I think.
Uh-huh. If I was 36, you'd still date me.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, so yeah, okay, so if I was 36, you'd be totally fine with that.
Yeah, because I'm almost 27. So, and like, I feel like the difference between 22 and 27 is like a lot of life experience.
Yeah, it generally is, right? Because yeah, for most people, Yeah, like you're just coming out of college, you're just entering the real world, you're just working like full time for the first time in your life. Usually, I mean, I worked full time from 18, so my life's a little bit different. But for most people, yeah, 22 to 26, it's only like 3 to 4 years, but it's like that's like a huge life change.
Yeah. But more than that, like you said, like 20 years, like 26 and 46, I might think that was kind of weird, because I feel like the larger the age gap, the more of like a difference in power dynamic in the relationship there is. So I don't know, that might be weird, kind of.
Right. I mean, like I was saying, I think girls and women in general tend to date older, although I think they're kind of there's like this threshold where it's like once women get into their 30s, they become more fine with dating a younger guy. I think it kind of shifts in that way. Everyone has their own preferences. I mean, but I see a general trend of like, once women get like cougar age, then it's like they're totally fine with like, be like, maybe I'll get myself a hot 22-year-old boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, which is, whatever, do whatever you want. But yeah, I guess that's true, especially if girls want to date an older guy and the girl's like 22 and the guy's like 42 or something like that, right? Then it's like, he's got an established life and he's got money, he's got, whatever. And then she has like nothing. And like, that can definitely, I guess that can happen to any age, but like, generally speaking, it's like, yeah, there's such a strong difference in like power in those relationships that I think it would end up being more uncomfortable than anything else. Mm-hmm. I guess I've never been in a situation, but I mean, like, I imagine just kind of like being in that could be, odd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I guess to answer this person's question, well, if you don't think it's weird, then that's all that matters, first of all. If you're okay with it and the other person is okay with it, then it doesn't really matter what other people think. And then I guess I kind of think it depends on where in your 20s you are. If you're like 20 dating a 30-year-old, maybe that's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Like 28, 29, maybe it's not as big of a deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely like you were saying, 28 to 38. I feel like is way smaller of a gap than like 20 to 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Kelsey said, I mean, if you're cool with it and he's cool with it or she's cool with it, whoever it is you're dating, if they're cool with it and you understand the difference in whatever and you like talked it out, you don't just leave the elephant in the room sitting there. If you're totally cool with it, then that's great, good for you. Because I mean, like I was saying, if you're like 20, like me at the age of 20 was very different than the average person at the age of 20 because I moved to Tokyo at 18 and lived on my own, worked full time from 18 onwards. So when I was 20, I was living the life that someone who's like 24, 25 is probably living. So it's definitely, can be a big difference there. But yeah, I mean, if you're cool with it, then go for it, I guess. But, do whatever you want.
Within reason.
Sure, yeah. Don't do whatever you want. Do whatever you want within reason. Next email. This is from Delaney. Hi, Alex. My name is Delaney. I'm 17 years old. I met this guy from out of state, and we've been friends since July of this year. He confessed a couple months ago that he liked me, but I told him I only thought of him as a friend. Friend zone. We stopped talking as much, but I've started finding myself liking him on and off. All right, Delaney. Okay, you're one of these girls? He's like, I'm in love with you. And you're like, ew, gross. And then he's like, okay, bye. And then you're like, no, come back. Sounds like one of those people where it's like, you like the guy and you like him when he doesn't like you, but then when he likes you back, you lose interest. Is that what that is? And now that he left you, you like him again?
Me when I was like 16.
You're like, you just want the chase, but you don't want to actually catch it.
Yeah.
Catch the prize you're searching for. You're one of those people, Delaney? Get out of here. Anyway, he's currently living in his home state, and while I've never been comfortable with long distance before, I could possibly see myself being long distance with him. He's moving to my state in May for his own reasons. I don't know whether or not I should tell him how I feel, especially after I already told him I like him as a friend only. Can you please give me some advice? Now, up to here, it's fine. But then she adds this little snippet at the end. She says, I also must add, she must add this, guys. I must add that I'm not super attracted to him. but I could still see myself in a long distance relationship with him. Why you gotta say that? she's okay, so let's just summarize here. So she's like, I'm 17. I met this guy from out of state. He was visiting her town for some reason. And then they were good friends for like from July. And then a couple months ago. So they were friends for like 2 or 3 months. And then he's like, hey, I have a crush on you. I would like to be your boyfriend. And she's like, ew, gross. And then he's like, okay, all right, bye, I guess. And then she's like, oh, but I like you now. And then he is kind of away, and he's gonna move. He's gonna move into her state soon for his own reasons. I guess in May. So in like 4 months. So now she likes him. She changed her mind. He asked her out. She said no, and now she's like, oh, he's ignoring me now. I'm so attracted to him. And she doesn't know whether she should tell him how she feels, especially because she just turned him down once, right? Mm-hmm. She just told him like, ew, gross. But then she's like, I like him now. But then the kicker is like, apparently he's a total uggo.
She feels the need to tell us.
I must add, I'm not attracted to him. Why you tell me this? So, okay. You're a girl, Kelsey.
Allegedly,
yeah. Well, what's your take on this? So this girl's 17, friend zoned this guy, he asked her out, and now him, he wasn't like, oh, but I'm a nice guy. It doesn't seem like he put up a fight. It doesn't seem like he holds a grudge. He's just like, okay, you just want to be friends. I don't want to just be friends. So he's kind of distanced himself from her now. Also because it's probably awkward.
Mm-hmm. And distance makes the heart grow fonder.
That's right. And now she's like, oh, but I miss you. I want to date you now. So should she tell him that she likes him now, even though she turned him down? Or should she just kind of be like, well, I turned him down. You can't just do the Uno reverse card on that, even though he's apparently like a total uggo or something, according to her. I don't know. He's probably a normal looking dude, but what's your take on this? What should she do? Should she just swallow her feelings, or should she just swallow something else? Remember? Food.
Oh my!
I'm talking about food. Yeah, scrambled eggs.
I always think that people should be honest with their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that she should just tell him.
Now, in this situation, how should she do that? Just be like, hey, so remember like 3 months ago when I said, ew, gross, I just want to be friends? I was just kidding.
I mean, more eloquently than that.
That might work.
Yeah, just send him like a long message and say, oh, I've been thinking and I regret turning you down. I'm interested. I would like to be in a long distance relationship, whatever. I would just like lay it all out there, and then if he might still be interested. Mm-hmm. So if he is, then great, and if he's not, then at least you tried and expressed your feelings, so then you won't feel regretful later on.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of has every right to... Well, everyone has every right to friend zone anyone they want, but like, because you turned him down once, you kind of have to brace yourself that like he might kind of be a little bit resentful of how he said that he liked you and you said ew, gross or whatever, and then now you're coming to him being like, hey, just kidding, I like you too, and he might feel really weird about that. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, like I guess there's already distance between you now, right? He doesn't talk to you as much, so the friendship, quote unquote, has kind of already, I don't say ruined, but it's been changed because he confessed to you. So it's like you might as well just tell him how you feel. Yeah, really just write it out the way you wrote the email, really. Just be like, hey, you did this thing, and then I was interested then, but then I got the COVID cabin fever, you know what I'm saying? So I'll date anyone at this point. Even you.
Don't say that.
Don't say it that way, no. Even you with that face. No, but yeah, I just laid it out there. Just be like, at the time I wasn't ready, but then, I miss you and I thought more about it and I think I'd like to give it a try, and we can be long distance for a few months now, but I know you're moving here soon, so why don't we get to know each other better and whatever. You could just lay it out there, and if he says no, then you just gotta suck it up, I guess. But what if he says yes?
Yeah.
And what if it turns into something magical? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I guess Kelsey and I both agree you might as well just tell him at this point, because like don't have anything
What
to
do you
lose.
got to lose?
Yeah, because he's already distant. We stopped talking as much, but I started to find myself like, yeah. So, you know, you got nothing to lose.
Try it.
Give it a try. It might work. Next email. This is one of my favorites. This is a good one, guys. The subject is question about nihilism. Hello, Alex. I heard you saying that when you were 14, more or less, you were reading Nietzsche. And then, well, you started to feel empty, but you made jokes about that, so I guess you just got over it or something? If so, how did you stop feeling like that? Like nothing matters? It kind of never goes away. you just I mean, I guess I realized that if nothing matters, then my feelings of nothing mattering also don't matter. So why bother? I mean, gosh, I don't know. How do you stop being nihilistic, Kelsey?
I've never stopped, so I don't know.
Life sucks and then you die. Good luck. I mean, gosh, I don't know. I just feel like when you're that age, when you're like in high school or college or whatever, and it's like you get so caught up in your feelings because you're feeling so many things for the first time. Like, you know, like you're feeling the highest highs and the lowest lows or whatever, as you said to me before, where it's like when you're a teenager, you're just, everything is so new and fresh, and like every breakup is the worst breakup of all time, and like every relationship is like, this is what true love is like. And then just, you know, nihilism is the same thing, where you're just like, you know, you realize like, wow, nothing matters, bro. Like one day the universe is just gonna atrophy into nothing, and heat death will just kill every star in the universe, and no life will be able to exist ever. So you might as well just play video games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. How do you just never really stop, I guess.
No.
You just push it down like all your other emotions.
Yeah. Just bottle that up.
Bottle it up until
you explode. No, that's bad advice.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you just get older and you find little bits of happiness to hold on to, or you try, and then eventually you realize, like, yeah, I mean, everything sucks and everything's pointless, but like, I'm still here now, so I might as well enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Make the most of it.
Because, like, I mean, yeah, like, life generally sucks, people generally suck, but then you meet someone like Kelsey, who makes you, like, happy all the time. And then you're just like, oh, life is not so bad, even though ultimately it's all pointless and love is a lie and God is dead and whatever. But like, but you know, I'm just saying, like, you find little things that make you happy and then you hold on to it and then you just like enjoy that because it's like, it's all you got. So why not make the best? I mean, you could spend all your days being sad, moping about how, oh, I'm going to die in 70 years or whatever, and it was the point of anything. But, like, I don't know, you still got 70 years, though. Like, you still got a life to live. Might as well eat good food. Jerk off to Overwatch porn. You know what I'm saying? Anybody?
Just me? Okay.
Hello? Anybody? No, I'm just saying, yeah, you just find things to hold on to, and then you just find something or someone that makes you happy longer than just fleeting happiness. Because some people search for happiness in very like quick to receive, but then quickly fleeting ways. Mm-hmm.
Like drugs.
Like
drugs
or like alcohol or like, you know, buying purses or or whatever, you know, video games, things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with buying purses or video games or whatever. I'm just saying, like, people try to find easy to get but quickly fleeting ways to forget that nothing matters, but it's way better to find something that makes you happy, like, long term.
My advice was going to be to play lots of video games to distract yourself from the fact that we're all going to die.
I mean, you could. That's fine.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And buy purses.
And buy purses and play Minecraft.
Yeah. Play a game that you can put like 1,000 hours into.
Yeah, just play Minecraft.
Get into MMOs.
Don't. Do not do that. Anyway. Good luck. Next email. The subject is, I have no idea what to name this email. A little bit long here, but, you know, it's fine. Strap yourselves in. Oh, this one. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. I remember this one. This is the one with the sleepovers.
Oh.
This is a good one, guys. This is juicy.
Good.
I mean, it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's some of you guys are bringing the fire on these emails. I appreciate that, So this is Ella. She is 16 years old. And I have a best friend. Let's call him Fred, because I don't know whether he'd be comfortable having his name on a podcast. Fred and I are very, very close friends, and I have been for a little over a year now. We don't really have a normal kind of guy-girl friendship relationship, I think, because at sleepovers, we cuddle a lot. Okay, record scratch. At sleepovers,
Where are your parents?
you cuddle a lot. You're 16, you're having sleepovers with your straight guy friend.
My mom would never, ever, ever have let me have a sleepover with a guy when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, if he was very openly gay, I can understand where it's like, oh, okay, he's just like one of the girls or whatever. But like, as you'll learn later, it's like this very straight 16-year-old boy is having sleepovers with this 16-year-old girl where they cuddle and stuff. Who's having sleepovers with their platonic guy friends / girlfriends? Come on, that doesn't happen. That's not how that works. And number two, you're cuddling? This is not a platonic friendship. But when's the last time you cuddled with your brother, Ella? Hopefully never.
Or since you were like 4.
Or okay, I'm saying, I mean like cuddled in like that. Like you guys sit on the couch, like hug and kissing each other cheeks and stuff. Get out of here. Anyway, so they have sleepovers and they cuddle, which is just, I'm blown away. Yeah, what are your parents, are you like an orphan, Elle? You live in like a boxcar?
Shouldn't. Just a boxcar kid.
You're one of those boxcar children? You solving mysteries?
I loved those books.
I remember reading them, I don't remember anything about them. It's like these kids who live in like a boxcar.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
And who don't smell horrible.
Somehow.
This is totally normal kids. Anyway. At sleepovers and such, we cuddle a lot, and he's not afraid to hold my hand in public. Stuff like that. This is not a friendship.
Yeah, sounds like he likes you.
This is, well, it gets better because, okay, let me just read up to the point that made me, like, literally laugh out loud here. I literally lolled, guys. It says, he's not afraid to... The cuddling was actually pretty innocent until August last summer. Then he started touching me in ways that you would normally not touch someone while platonically cuddling. And this is the line. And I don't really know what these mean. I don't really know what these actions mean.
What does it mean when he grabs my bobs?
Yeah, what does it mean when I'm cuddling with my guy friend and then he snuggles and kisses me on the cheek and squeezes my boobs? What does that mean, Alex? I don't know. Is it mixed signals? What could he possibly... Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's coming on to you.
This is Ella.
She's very innocent.
Ella. What? It's this email. Okay. So he starts touching her while cuddling, and she doesn't know what that means. Since August, he's been doing this every single sleepover. How many gosh darn sleepovers you having, Ella? Man, what is this? And the touching gets a little more intense every sleepover, but we never talk about it. I never really gave consent, but I think he just thinks I don't mind because I never told him to stop. But I don't actually mind. It's just that, again, I have no idea how to interpret this. No idea how to interpret the guy who's getting all handsy while cuddling at a sleepover. What could that possibly mean, Kelsey?
I think he's trying to bone her.
No. Guy friends don't do that. But we're just friends, Kelsey. This I think is so funny. Well, it's really a testament to how, like... I mean, guys and girls can be friends, yes. But I feel like... For girls, it's very easy to compartmentalize people into certain compartments, hence the name. But, like, it's like, these are friends, these are date material, these are... like, it's very easy for girls to do that. Now, sometimes there's a little bit of crossover. Sometimes the Venn diagrams, converge. But generally speaking, girls are very good at putting guys in the friend zone. Mm-hmm. Or putting people in the friend zone, right? But I feel like for a lot of guys, not all, but a lot of guys, it's much more gray. where it's like, yeah, I'm her friend, but like if she ever showed interest, I would absolutely bone her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of guys like any girl listening now, like you think you have some guy friend. It's like, oh, we're just friends. We're he doesn't seem like that. We're only friends. I guarantee most of your guy friends would absolutely sleep with you if you gave them a shot. Like, they might never make a move, but they're waiting. they're waiting for you to break up with the boyfriend that they don't like, who makes you cry, and then he's like, oh, I will be there to just hold your hand and cuddle and have sleepovers. And if you ever showed any interest, I guarantee most, maybe not all, not saying every guy's like this, I'm saying especially when you're younger, high school, college age, whatever, maybe your entire life. As speaking as a guy, I guarantee like a lot of guys would if you let them.
Which is kind of sad, because like the girl in this hypothetical is coming at that situation from like just purely wanting to be friends with the guy, but then the guy is just kind of like waiting for the girl to want to bang him. So like, is that what their friendship is based on to him? So it's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, that's the question, to ask any like of these like guy friends that you have or whatever, is kind of like, if you're just friends with someone, then like how attractive they are or whatever should mean nothing, right? Mm-hmm. Just like for example, like if so you have a guy and then he has like guy friends, right? Mm-hmm. And they're probably just a whole range of different types of people, different looking people. Maybe he has a friend who's like really good looking, then he's got a couple friends who are just kind of goofy looking, whatever. Like I was definitely the goofy looking friend when I was growing up. And so it's like, because when you're friends, it's like there's zero attraction to them. So, friends with whoever. It's all right, we just play video games. And it's like, okay, but like if these guys have, if all of their like girlfriend, platonic quote unquote girlfriends, or if you're their only platonic girlfriend, and it's like you're like attractive, or his girlfriends quote unquote are like really attractive. The question is like, if they were not attractive, would he still be friends with you or them? You know what I mean? Because like, if it's just a friendship where it's like, oh, we hang out, we play games, and we just, it's all very innocent, and we whatever. But it's like, if he didn't think you were hot, would he actually be your friend? Or would he be like embarrassed to be seen in public with you? Or would he? This is mainly like a high school, college thing. When people get older, that matters less and less. But that's the question. And like you were saying, Kelsey, yeah, it's like it is really sad and kind of unfair, but it's very true. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, the girl wants to be friends with this guy, and for whatever reason they just want to be friends. She doesn't want to date him. He's in the friend zone. He's never going to leave, but from his point of view, he's like, oh, I get to hang out with this like hot girl, and we get to be all like super friendly, and like I'm there when she needs me for emotional support, and like I get to be close to her and like smell her hair and stuff. And so yeah, it's like a lot of, again, I'm not saying every guy's like this. I'm saying a lot of guys are like this, where the girl thinks that they're just friends, but the guy is just acting like her friend, and he's not going to cross that line. But it's like, if she ever showed interest, he would absolutely be first in line, which to me is not a platonic friendship. Because an actual platonic friendship is like, ew, I would never date you romantically. We're just friends. But when you have a straight guy, or a guy who's interested in women, and then a girl who's interested in men, not exclusively, but who is, then it's like, from a guy's perspective, for most guys, not all, but most, there'll always kind of be that thing there. Like he's friends with you because he kind of sort of has a crush on you. And if you ever showed interest, then he would be like, yes, ma'am. But then, because he knows you won't, then he's just like, well, I guess we're just friends until she's desperate enough to sleep with me, Which, yeah, it is pretty sad. Just thinking how, like, the girl thinks that she has a really good guy friend, but it's actually not. Mm-hmm. I mean, he might be a good guy, but, like, it's not like an actual friendship. It's like she has a friend and she wants a friend, and then he's like waiting and hoping that the stars align and Aquarius goes into Gatorade or whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? and then it's like, oh, now she's desperate enough, because think of how many. So I watch rom-coms for a living, right? Which is a weird sentence to say, but what's up, man? I watch rom-coms for a living, and like how many times is it where like the girl has a best guy friend, but that guy friend clearly has a crush on that girl? Like tall girl, right? Tall girl. It's like, oh, we've been friends for 10 years, and he's always had the milk crate. Such a weird kid, but he's a good friend. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, I had this milk crate for 10 years just in case you ever wanted to make out with me. You know?
Yeah.
And like that's such a common trope. Where it's like, well, sometimes it's the reverse too. Like the hot guy has like the average looking girlfriend, quote unquote, female friend, and then she totally wants to like bone him or whatever, or get boned by him. How does boning work? I don't know. Call to sex, Kelsey.
It's mutual.
Yeah, mutual bonage. She wants to do him, but he's like the hot, quarterback guy. But he shares his feelings with me. We're so intimate. It's such a common trope, and like it's very true though. I feel like in my experience, where it's like. The guy friend is hoping that the girl will date him at some point. And even if he knows she never will, he's still kind of like, like he's attracted to her, so he wants to hang out with her. But like, if she was ugly, would he still be her friend? Maybe, but maybe not.
This is you in high school, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I'm speaking from experience here. And from other guys I've known, other things. Yeah, I was the friend zone Freddy in my high school. Okay, I got friend zoned by literally every single girl in high school. Now I was privy to a lot of like relationship talk and like gossip and stuff, which was kind of cool in its own way, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like I was friends with those girls because I thought they were all really like pretty, and like I wanted to date them, and I was hoping that I would be the guy with the milk crate. At the end of the movie, and be like, one day she'll see that the right guy is under her nose the whole time, and it's me, coincidentally. Which never happens, by the way. Because like I said, girls put guys in the friend zone real easy. But, yeah, so my thing to this girl here, Ella, I believe her name is like, she seems very confused at like why her guy friend would be like touching her boobs and stuff. Like,
but then she admitted that it's not a normal friendship. Like
right.
In the beginning, she's like, but we don't have a normal friend, so something's going on.
Yeah, you've already know we have sleepovers and cuddle. It's not normal, but it's ours. Like something's weird, Ella. Okay, I'm sorry. 16 years old having sleepovers with a straight guy friend is not a thing that happens. It's just not. Not saying it's a bad thing necessarily. I'm just saying, what? Like, can you imagine explaining that to your mom? We're just friends, Mom. We're just friends who shower together and he massages my boobs. But we're just friends, Mom. But anyway, yeah, so her question is, what does this mean? Oh, okay, there's a PS here. There's a PS. Well, first of all, she also says, Kelsey, if you're reading this email, thank you for your time, and I hope you find the story interesting enough to use on your podcast, which we did.
I did.
P.S. Every time, there's a little wrinkle here. Every time someone mentions that Fred and I would make a cute couple, he always reacts with something like, ew, no, never, which is kind of hurtful, but above that, it just makes it just makes this situation all the more confusing. So she's having sleepovers and cuddling with this guy, and this guy's like feeling up her shirt and stuff, and she's like, what does this mean? But then anytime someone else is like, oh, you and Ella should date, he's like, ew, gross.
I wonder if he's just saying that because he thinks she would never date him, so he's like trying to spare his own feelings. Like, oh no, I'd never do that. Ew. But if she wanted to, he would like jump at the opportunity to.
I mean, he is jumping at the opportunities. They're having cuddle sleepovers where he's like feeling up her shirt and touching her butt and stuff.
Or he just wants to hook up with her and wouldn't ever actually want to date her. I guess is a possibility too.
So yeah, it might be like he doesn't want to date her, but he wants all the other stuff that goes along with dating, but not actually date.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but all right.
Not abnormal for 16-year-olds.
Yeah, right. That is not that strange, but it's weird that he's like, it's just so weird to me that it's like, oh, you guys should date, and he's like, ew, never, gross. But then they're having sleepovers and cuddling, and they're like super, super best friends. I don't know. It seems like weird that he would. Right, unless, I mean, obviously he's lying. Okay, obviously he's not being honest here. He's pretending to be ew, gross about her because, yeah, either he doesn't want her to get weirded out, or he doesn't want to have to be like, yeah, we should. And then she's like, ew, gross, and he's like all hurt and stuff.
Right. He's trying to protect his own feelings, it seems like. Or he just doesn't want to date and he just wants to touch your boobies.
Okay, last email. This one's called FOMO and Jealousy. Here we go. It says, "Hi, Alex and Kelsey. I am 16 years old. I'm a junior in high school, so other than going on a few dates, I obviously haven't had much dating experience. However, there is this one girl in my grade who's been my friend for a long time." See? I'm telling you. It's like, oh, we've been friends for a long time, but I really want to date this girl. So I've been telling you. I'm not making up stories here. This is a true story, what I'm saying.
Just be friends with people because you want to be friends with them.
Yeah.
Not because you hope that they'll get with you. Just be a good friend. People.
Yeah. Just be like, well, see, this is the thing. I'll get back to the email in a second, but like, you know, I've seen it online and in person I've heard, you know, girls complain about like, guys complain about how girls will friend zone them, and then girls will complain about how guys will like girlfriend zone them. Where it's like, how come guys only talk to me if they want to date me? How come they don't just want to be my friend? And I get the frustration, but it goes both ways, I think. Where it's like, you know, he has every right to be like, I want to date you. And if you say like, oh no, you're just a friend, we're not going to date, then he's like, okay, well, I'm not getting what I want out of this relationship, so I'm going to leave then. I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's just being honest.
But don't hang on and pretend to be a friend in hopes that one day she'll change her mind or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. I'm saying, you know, if a guy's like, oh, I wanted to date you, but you don't want to date me, so like, you know, this friendship is going to be a one-way friendship here because I want to date you, and I'm always going to want to date you, and you don't want to date me, so I'm just going to leave then. And I understand that's frustrating because you feel like you're losing a friend, but like, he's not really your friend. He's only hanging on because he wants to date you, and he's hoping that you'll break up with the guy, or you'll be desperate enough to date him, or whatever. Hoping for some like rom-com, you know, Hallmark Channel, Netflix, Disney Channel, original movie type of outcome. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, I think it's actually courteous of a guy to be like, oh, I don't want to be your friend. I want to date you, and if you don't want to date me, then I'm just going to leave this relationship then. I think that's actually courteous. It sucks in the moment, but I think it's way better than having a guy hold on and then you think he's your friend, but he's actually just waiting in the wings for you to like, you know, be available to him or whatever like that. So it's very skeevy of him to do that, and of guys to do that, and girls too, but I think mostly guys do it. And so it's like, I think it's actually kind of courteous of him to step out of the relationship when he realizes that it's just a one-way thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I sidetracked us.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's kind of like if you're dating someone and then they don't really like you, but they're just dating you because you're there, right? It's the same type of thing, where it's like you really want to date them and you're like in love with this person, but clearly they're just dating you because like you just happen to be there in the moment and they're just waiting for something better to come along.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, how come this girl never texts me? Or how come this guy never calls me back? Or how come he's always too busy to hang out, whatever. It's like, we get those emails sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he doesn't really like you. It's just that you happen to be available.
Yeah.
And then you lick his balls or something like that. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like he's getting something out of it, but he doesn't really like you all that much. And it's like the same thing in a friendship. It's like, you know, why would you want to be friends with someone who doesn't actually want to be your friend? They want to date you. They want something from you that you're not going to give them, and they're just waiting for you to give it to them. Like, why would you be friends with that person anyway? But whatever. Back to the email. There's one girl I've been friends with for a long time who I kind of have a romantic thing with. We've gone on dates and stuff, but nothing too serious. And I kind of date around too. I'm fine not getting serious with anyone in high school, as I feel like it's sort of limiting on the people I could meet and see. That's true. I feel like I think, well, we've talked about this before. Dating in high school is largely a waste of time. You get some experience out of it, but just nothing like worthwhile, I feel like, ever happens.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, dating in your high school, I mean, it depends how big your high school is. Like, your high school is pretty big, right, Kelsey?
Yeah, it was large.
Yeah. My high school total was maybe like 1,000 kids, which is still pretty good size. But like, eventually it kind of becomes very incestuous, where it's like, well, I mean, with your high school so big, maybe not. But like with my high school, it was kind of like, there was a certain core group of kids that had all dated each other at some point. Mm-hmm. You know? You got sports kids and the cheerleaders and the whatever. And it's like everyone's kind of dated everyone at some point. It just seems like such a nightmare, logistics-wise, you know? Anyway. I've noticed that anytime this girl is hanging out with someone else, she's really popular. I get really jealous and experience FOMO, which I've never really felt before. I guess my question is, how do you keep jealousy and FOMO from interfering with your relationships, and should I be so jealous all the time? It kind of makes me feel unpopular, even though I have a lot of friends too. So his question, so he has this girl that he's friends with, or quote unquote friends with, And then they sort of have been on a couple dates here and there, but I assume like friendship hangouts more than dates, it seems like going to the movies or whatever. And he likes her, but he doesn't want to get serious because he's only like 16, which is a smart thing to do. Okay, you're 16 years old. Don't get. I mean, you can date exclusively with someone, but don't get like we're gonna get married out of high school. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Some people it works out with, but it's such an anomaly that like you should not plan on it happening. Okay. Anyway, now he doesn't want to get serious with anyone. Not this girl. Not with anyone. But when this girl is going on dates or hanging out with other dudes, he gets jealous. Okay. So he's like, what do I do? Should I like push? How do I handle my jealousy? Like, am I like wrong? Am I thinking something weird? Because like, I don't want to be serious with this girl, but like, I also don't want her to like date other dudes. So like, what does that mean? What's your take on this, Kelsey?
I feel like you kind of have to be serious with her, or she's gonna date other dudes. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like we're gonna get married or anything, but like, if you don't want her to be going out with other people, you're gonna have to be exclusive with her. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. She has every right to, because you know, if she's not exclusive with you or anyone, then it's like she has every right to date whoever she wants, really.
Yeah.
And if you, right, exactly, like you were saying, I mean, you know, being exclusive with someone doesn't necessarily mean you're like super serious. You know, it's kind of like, you know, we date each other and only each other, but like, you know, we're not going to get like married in 2 years or whatever. So like, you know, they don't have to be the same thing. You can be exclusive, but not like overly serious. But I mean, yeah, it's like, it seems like you're jealous because you actually really like this girl. And you know, I think you should tell her that and just be like, hey, so, you know, I don't really like it when you date other people and I don't want to date other people. So why don't we just date each other exclusively?
Yeah.
Like when you and I started dating, I remember we had the talk, probably like third date, I think, about third date in. So, I mean, you're 16. So like I said, don't get too serious, but there's nothing wrong with being exclusive.
No.
Which I think it's a good thing, because otherwise you're going to get jealous and people are going to misunderstand things like, oh, but you didn't say we were exclusive, so of course I slept with Jason or whatever, you know? So it's like, yeah, I think just talk to her, because you're friends, quote unquote, right? And so just be like, hey, so like, I don't want you to date other dudes. I don't like it, you know? And I want you to date me. And then if she's like, cool, then great. And if she's like, ew, gross, then like, I don't know, that sucks, but
at least you tried.
At least you know.
Yeah.
It's the same with the one from earlier, right? About the girl got asked out by the guy.
And then she...
Right. And she changed her mind or whatever. Yeah. It's like, you should just tell him. It's so much easier that way. Because you'll always wonder what if, and you'll always wonder why not. And you'll always, I could have done this. I should have done that. I would have done this if I had known, blah, 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 blah. So it's like, I don't know, like, as you get older, let me tell you about life, kids. As you get older, you're full of regrets, and you're full of disappointments, and you're full of like, oh, I wish I had known, I wish I had the bit. So it's like, as much as you can in your power, if you can minimize that, then do it.
Yeah.
You know, because when you get into your mid-20s, late 20s, 30s, whatever, and a lot of people, see, that's where like midlife crisis comes from, right? Because people, they hit like 35, 40 years old, and they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't do anything I wanted to do. I got married at 22. I got 5 kids who all hate me. I hate my job. Suck as an accountant. I wanted to be a YouTube star, but no, couldn't do that because I got married and had kids too early. Or whatever. I'm making up stories here, but you know what I'm saying? And so, like, as much as you, especially when you're young, right? It's like, if you can just minimize regret, like, don't do stupid stuff. And if there's a girl that you like or whatever, like, just tell them. Because after high school, you're all going to go off to college and probably never see each other again anyway. Unless it works out and then you end up, you know, going to college together or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you know, it's like, I'm saying, like, worst case scenario, what happens? She says, ew, gross. You feel bad for like a couple days and then nothing has changed in your life.
Yeah.
That's it.
But at least you like got it off your chest.
Yeah.
You tried.
Right. And you'll never wonder what if, because you know what happens. Like, oh, she wouldn't have dated me anyway. So cool. I guess I'll just live my life then, you know? And if it works out, then you get the girl that you like, and she's cool, and you hang out and you play Minecraft all day, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
We like Minecraft, if you can't tell.
we've been into it. Got about 100 hours so far. We're going to fight the Ender Dragon pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how cool we are. What's up, everybody? Lavish YouTuber life, yeah. Play Minecraft, eat gummy worms all day. Anyway, we're going to stop right there. So thank you all for writing in. A lot of good emails this time.
Yeah.
A good variety, I think. You know, sometimes we get the same type of emails over and over again, but this was a good questions about nihilism.
Yeah.
That's good. If you want to write in your own emails, you send it to devilstangopodcast@gmail.com. It's down in the description of the YouTube video, and I think in the Libsyn podcast thing as well, maybe? I hope so. Anyway, if you want to send them in, you send them there, and then if they're good and they're not too long, then you'll get them on the show. Some people write in, it's like a whole novel, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Be succinct, please.
some people write in their whole like Wattpad fan fiction story, but like just keep it succinct, a couple paragraphs. Just tell me what's going on, what's your thoughts, what's your question. That's all I want to know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.